Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Nobody is an action film that I've been highly anticipating, mainly because it stars Bob Odenkirk, somebody that I would never associate with being an action star because he's more known for his comedic background, and at the same time, a lot of people know him as Saul from the Breaking Bad series. So whenever this became available on streaming service, I definitely had to rent it. And so the general story here is we have Bob Odenkirk as this guy named Hutch Mansell, and he's basically just a normal average family man with his wife and his two kids. And actually he's really a boring guy. And then one day something happened in his house where there's a burglary, and well, that's really when the real Hutch starts coming back. And that's where we have our action movie. There's really not much to it beyond that. And so getting into the things that I really enjoyed about this film is Bob Odenkirk. He's just absolutely amazing in this role where he could be somebody who's so average to below average. But then when you see his, real side come out, this crazy assassin auditor, you're just like, whoa. It's just such a huge contrast, and Bob Odenkirk does such an amazing job in just playing both of those roles of somebody who's just an average guy to somebody who is a very lethal and feared assassin, or in this case they call him the auditor. And so that's what I really enjoyed the most out of it, because he really brought this character to life, and also some of his comedic chops as well. And then the other things that I enjoyed about it was all the other cast of characters around it. Mainly his dad, played by Christopher Lloyd, and also by RZA as well. And his wife, she also plays a part that's really more part of his backstory, more part of his past, which we don't know much about, which is another thing that I enjoyed. And then the other characters, of course, they're not as interesting as, Hutch and the rest of the characters, but they kind of just serve their role, which is basically to get killed by him. And so that's another thing that I enjoyed. And then, of course, the best thing about this is the absolutely awesome action in this. So whenever I saw the trailer, I was like, this is going to be a really good action film. And it looked a lot like John Wick. And actually, one of the writers, I think, also did this one as well. And so there's a lot of John Wick elements in here, straight down to the actual Russian mafia and boss. This is the same thing there. But other than that, this is really a different movie. It's more about this guy, Hutch, coming back to who he really is, which is a violent assassin. And whenever the action comes, it comes really hard, comes fast, and it's brutal. It's just so satisfying. And the funny thing is, the way in which the whole movie is told is really told from somebody who loves this type of life, who loves this violent life that he's been hiding. And whenever he gets to that point and the action comes, you feel it as well. You're just waiting for the moment where he could just go let loose and go crazy. And that was just so satisfying to see whenever this comes, and the action really complements his character and the story overall. And then the other thing that I enjoyed about this was the comedic moments. You could definitely see where Bob Odenkirk's, comedic chops comes, but it also comes from other people like Christopher Lloyd as well. And so I really did enjoy that. And it's kind of like subtle comedy, which is another thing that, Bob Odenkirk does well in this case. And so those are some of like the main things that I enjoyed about this movie. The overall acting, the characters, Bob Odenkirk, the action is awesome. And the story itself, it's really not anything complex. But at the same time, this isn't what this movie is about. It's about giving you really cool action and Bob Odenkirk delivering the goods.
For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool news at GeekOutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below.
Now, getting into the things that I didn't enjoy as much is at the beginning, there is some setup. And so it's going to take time before you actually get to the real action. And it kind of makes sense for the story where they're kind of building up this character and kind of giving you a little bit of backstory. And at the same time, giving you time to see him explode from this really boring average guy to this crazy assassin, So maybe for some people that might be a little bit too slow, but at least for me, I understood why they did that. And at the same time, whenever it got to the point, it kind of went crazy. And about the only other negative that I could see with this, and this is kind of expected, is that the villain itself, Really nothing more to him. He's just an average cook-cutter Russian mob boss with all the other characters that surround him. And, they're just basically there for Hutch and his crew to actually kill him, and that's about it. But other than that, I really enjoyed Nobody. It gave me absolutely everything that I wanted. Everything that I saw in the trailer. This is going to be action-packed. It's going to have Bob Odenkirk. And just having other characters here like Christopher Lloyd and RZA, that was a nice part of it. And at the same time, they really served a very important part of the movie that, you really wouldn't expect, considering it's mainly about Bob Odenkirk. So it was nice that they added that there. And hopefully there'll be other sequels to this, because even though the story tells you a little bit about him, you know that there's a lot there, and I did appreciate that as well. There's a lot more mystery to this character, and also his wife as well, and maybe his extended family. And so, yeah. And so those are my thoughts on Nobody. As you can probably tell, I really enjoyed this film. So if you did get a chance to watch it and you like action movies like John Wick, then you're definitely going to enjoy this. So if you actually had any thoughts on this movie or any other action movies that you enjoyed, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my action film reviews, I have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators Group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators Group.